Hey there, friends, and welcome back to another 3-Minute Thoughts. My name is Derek, and in the next 3 minutes, we're going to take a look at Jeremiah chapters 10 through 13. These chapters are going to continue where we were the last time we were together, where God confronts the idolatry and stubbornness of Judah. These chapters are going to be mixed with forms of poetry, lament, those are those sad songs, and then there's going to be some powerful symbolic illustrations of God's heartbreak over his people who have exchanged truth for lies. The chapter begins with, chapter 10 begins with a strong contrast between the living God and dead idols. Jeremiah mocks the absolute ridiculous nature of idolatry, how people cut wood, decorate it with silver and gold, and then they bow down to worship it as if it could do something for them. These statues, they can't speak, they can't move, they can't save, and yet we give them so much of our allegiance. Even as he proclaims this, though, Jeremiah is overwhelmed by grief for the people. He closes out the chapter with a prayer of humble confession and a plea for mercy. Chapter 11, we see that God reminds Judah of the covenant made in the days of Moses. Obey my voice, and you will be my people. But they have refused to listen, choosing instead to follow the stubbornness of their evil hearts, so God will announce judgment. And even Jeremiah's hometown of Anathoth threatens him for speaking the truth. The chapter is going to paint the relationship between God and Judah as not just broken, but betrayed. Jeremiah chapter 12, we see in this chapter a common question that Jeremiah asks throughout. Why does the way of the wicked prosper? We ask it a little differently. Why do good things happen to bad people? Right? He wrestles with the fact that corrupt leaders and idolatrous people seem to thrive while the faithful suffer. God responds by calling Jeremiah to some greater levels of endurance. He says in verse 5, "If you have raced with men on foot and they have wearied you, how will you compete with horses?" The whole idea here is that some people elevate themselves and set themselves above everyone else. Hold fast and stay true to the race in front of you and watch what God will do. Chapter 13 contains a vivid prophetic action from God. God speaks to Jeremiah and reminds him to buy a linen belt, which is a symbol of intimacy and purity, hide it near a river, retrieve it later only to find it ruined and useless. God explains, "This is how I will ruin the pride of Judah, for the belt clings to the waist of the man, so I made the whole house of Israel cling to me." If we were to summarize all these things in a phrase or two, though Judah clings to idols in pride, God still calls them back, grieving the intimacy lost and warning of the judgment to come if they refuse to return. That's it for today. Be well, friends.